it's Tuesday. I got 2 for 3 yesterday. Really great day, except for the Alabama team outshined, and I owe some money to Jakey Bakey first on the line, probably asking for collections. What about D. Smith there? Devonte cannot cover him. The better team won. You got to know it. You got to pronounce it, illuminate it. Craig Siegel, thank you for joining me. Thank you so much. There he is. Blaine, Chaz, welcome. Let's get the questions rolling. Friday's trainings on abundant negotiation, how to negotiate from a place of more than enough. I'm going to teach you and answer questions on that. Gotta love, this is one of my favorite shirts. Thank you. Pro Football Hall of Fame. Very comfortable shirt as well. Hello. It's pin up there. Where's Team David Meltzer? I can't, when you ask, it comes right there. So there we go. If you want to register for free training, it's david@dmeltzer.com. If you want my books, guides, exercises, david@dmeltzer.com. If you want to join my text community, 949-298-2905. All are available. They're all free and love to have you. So we're going to have a great day here. Let's get the questions rolling. Did your dad have any sayings he taught you? Yeah, he had tons of them. One of my favorites is, if you don't like someone, wish upon him employees and overhead. I always like that one. You could imagine sitting there with a friend of yours that you don't like, going, man, I hope your company grows. I have tons of employees in a huge office and warehouse and trucks, everything. I wish it all on you, my friend. And he walks away. Oh my God, he loves me, that guy. What a great guy. Meanwhile, you just cursed him. Anyway, I like that quote from my dad. Here we go. Who should be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year? That's a good question. I'm gonna have to look at that one. I have not studied it yet, but I'm sure there's some good people. I will get back to you on that one. Is that Alabama offense the best in history? I don't know. Miami's offense years ago, but it's one of the best. They were just on fire. You know, when you can't cover someone, it makes it, and you got a quarterback that can throw them the ball, it makes it really hard to stop them, as the Kansas City Chiefs know. Here we go. Would you say The Intelligent Investor is still a relevant read? Yes, absolutely. Great read. If you haven't read The Intelligent Investor, it's a great read. Definitely check it out. How do you get over a bad day? I don't have bad days. I have bad minutes and moments because I stop, drop, and roll. I don't have bad days, bad weeks, bad months, bad years anymore. I have bad minutes and moments because I practice ending fear. I practice ending the meaning I don't want to give. I practice ending looking at what's missing in my life. I practice ending wanting what other people want for me. I practice ending thinking about what I don't want. And I do that for minutes and moments. And so I don't have to get over a bad day. I get over bad minutes and moments, or a bad game, like Alabama kicking Ohio State's butt last night. Best lesson you learned from a teammate. Best lesson I've learned from a teammate. From a teammate. Neutrality. So, just keep playing. I was very, very emotional when I played. And one of my college teammates was much like Trevor, who went to my college, and talked about just keep playing, let it go. And I think it was the first lesson of practicing, ending fear and not accelerating in the wrong direction, looking at it that way. All right, we got Adam von Guccin here, and he is the CEO of Highclere, the Castle Spirits. Let me find him here. There he is. Adam's here. All right, let's let him about Castle and the great gin, founded very recently. So it's a great space and a frequency space. Hey,
David, how are you?
I'm good, Adam. How are you?
Good, nice to see you.
Very nice to see you. I like your background. Very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a very spirited background. Exactly.
Well
anyway,
said.
Highclere Castle Gin. You guys founded it the last 3 years. I'm really interested in the space because it never seems to be too big. I've been working way back with Sidney Frank when they launched Grey Goose and Jägermeister and, all types of different tequilas sent there, from Nosotros to variety. Now we have, the 12, our Scotch with our MMA buddies. I'm losing my mind. But it's such an interesting game. And, how do you approach a crowded space. Of course, Joseph Storzinger here, he wants to talk about Harlem Standard whiskey as well. I don't want to forget those guys. But more importantly, how do you address, what seems to be a very crowded space to pronounce a new brand and pick which type of liquor? Proper 12 is the name, with Ken Austin. How do you pick that, and where do you get started? Because it seems overwhelming to me, and I work within the space.
Yeah, it's obviously intense. My motivation from the beginning in the creation of Highclere Castle Gin, we live in a world where 95% of these brands are created in marketing boardrooms, and they're mass produced, and the stories are made up, and it's just kind of marketing fluff. And for me, my inspiration, I think the inspiration for many consumers that actually care what they consume and what they purchase, is first and foremost authenticity. I was looking to create the finest, most elegant, most authentic gin that's ever been produced. And it took us 5 years, and it came about through a partnership that I formed with the 8th Earl and Countess of Carnarvon, who own Highclere Castle and run the estate. And so it's got a very obviously noble and regal background, and a very authentic one. And to bring that spirit to life from a recipe perspective, we had the botanicals on the estate to use. But it really was rooted in authenticity, as I think most businesses should be if they're going to be successful, because consumers want that more than ever.
And you are sticking, like Grey Goose did, to kind of super premium. When we were marketing Grey Goose years and years ago, vodka was a poor person's drink, and, they shifted the entire paradigm. You're really shifting the entire paradigm in gin by having this, ultra premium, high quality, super diligent gin that tastes amazing. Where's the risk in that when you're going to the mass prestige?
Well, I think, like with anything, there's risk with starting any business or brand. I think with having an exceptional team, with having a brand that is as formidable and as real as Highclere, in the teams being mentality being obsessed for perfection. As of last week, we just won our 21st International Double Gold Award. I believe by springtime, we'll be the most awarded gin in the world. So I think it's crafting a thoughtful plan, not rushing to market, especially when you've got things like COVID circling around that don't make the hospitality industry easy. But I think it's staying committed to the principles of the brand and the business. And I think that goes a long way with the consumer, with the distributors, with retail partners and bartender partners, because they know that we're genuine and real. Yet at the same time, Highclere is so prestigious, and it's such a global kind of phenomenon with Downton Abbey and all the people that recognize the castle from that show. I think that it's just exceptionally unique in a world where so many things are just kind of canned fruit, and it's just processed and produced. And that's what I think the customers want. So stick to that mission, tell that story, be real with the consumers, and be real with the people that appreciate the product. And the rest will happen naturally as you push forward and stay focused on those goals.
As the most awarded gin in the world, a lot of people don't know how those awards are given. What are some of the criteria so that people can appreciate why your gin's so fantastic? What are some of the categories or criteria that people look at when you win those awards?
Yeah, great question. A lot of these competitions are being run by, industry veterans, wine sommeliers, old school distillers, people that have been tasting and understand, the terroir and what it makes to bring a spirit to life. They're just experts. You're talking about, major buyers for high-end hotel groups, beverage buyers, spirit buyers, things like that. So it's certainly all these competitions are these kind of voting boards are typically constructed by that, industry leaders that really know what they're tasting. And so, when we just won the best gin in the world from the John Barleycorn Awards last week. These are composed of really prominent people in the industry, and it's an honor to get them. And it's an honor, but also not surprising, because we spent 1.5 years on the recipe alone back in the gardens behind Highclere, playing with oranges and lavenders and all these things. So it's an honor, but it feels right.
That is awesome. And I want to give a quick big shout out to my boys in Curacao that have joined us. I'm a Goodwill ambassador to the ABC Islands, including Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. I always love when they join the best baseball country per capita entire world. Now, one of the things that I've learned, I do interviews of people that are over 85 years old. And I especially interview people over 100 to ask them what the secret of life is. And invariably, obviously, humor or fun or happiness is always included. But surprisingly, the other one that is almost always there, almost every single person, is they like to have one drink a day. Well, they don't overdrink, but what one of those drinks are drinks like yours, the high-end premium drinks that are actually medicinal when you don't overdrink and
Right.
you drink responsible. And I truly believe that even through these pandemics, et cetera, that it makes just common sense to me to take a premium liquor, whatever your choice is, tequila, whiskey, scotch, or gin, and have one glass. At the end of the day, you can imagine scientifically what it does to your heart as a killer of bacteria. It has alcohol in it, which obviously has been proven to kill different things. So in that respect, people don't look at gin or a premium liquor as a medicinal item. Or have you found any of those types of effects from your experience with having such a high-end premium gin?
I mean, I can tell you, I'm doing great.
You look great, man. You look great. I'm doing great, but
No, it,
I prefer a little shot of Jaeger. But
no, but you're right though. I mean, a lot of the in my travels around the world, when I've met some of the older folks, as you mentioned, who are really getting up there, I find the ones that seem to be really healthy for their age and happy. To your point, they laugh a lot. They don't take the world too seriously. They enjoy their one drink a night. They enjoy their cigar. That's a big thing with some of the older guys, where a cigar every few days. And there's been some interesting studies around this stuff. But it's also about, I think it's the spirit and the relaxing of the body that the spirit provides. But I think there's also something else to sitting with people that you care for and like just decompressing and relaxing. And those of us that don't do that, those are the people that get sick. And so when we take that time at the end of the day to have a glass of wine, to make a gin and tonic, to enjoy High Claire on the rocks and a cigar, enjoy your view wherever you happen to be, I think that there's something to be said for that, what that does to the body and soul.
well, there's no doubt that stress is the number one killer that everybody ignores. And
Exactly.
so anything that reduces our stress and provides enjoyment of the consistent, persistent pursuit of our own potential and happiness, as you know, is so aligned. Hi, Claire. What a great story. What a great brand and what a great gin. I can't wait to sit down and have one myself. And maybe I'll have a cigar as well, which is very Curaçaoian as well. So thank you so much, Adam, for coming on, teaching us about the industry, teaching us about marketing, and most of all of your product, which everyone should go get. Where can they find High Claire Castle Gin now?
Yeah, we ship all over the U.S. Via our website, highclarecastlegin.com. And definitely follow us on Instagram for sure at High Claire Castle Gin. And we're also in a lot of stores and the finest restaurants around the country. Plus, we're in the U.K. and France and Switzerland. So
can't beat that. Make sure you ask for your High Claire and have a very high and clear day. So thank you so much, Adam. We'll see you back on again, okay?
cheers, David. I'd like that very much. Thanks for having me on.
Cheers. Thank
All
you.
right. Bye.
Right on. All right. That was Adam von Guccin. He is the CEO and co-founder of High Claire Castle Spirits, the number one gin in the world. Award-winning, tastes great, high-end. And you know what that means. Easy on the hangover. All right. Good stuff. Thank you so much. I saw that Lee's here already. So let me just grab Lee. Got right on time. Let me just see what I'm doing. There we go. Here we go. All right. We have the founder of Perspire Sauna has a quick question for me. I'm a big steam room and sauna guy. That is a lot of, I think, awards behind you. Hey, how are you doing, Lee?
Hi, David. No, those are locations. Those are coming soon studio locations. Yeah.
Nice. Well, very
Yeah.
good. So you got the Perspire Sauna Studio. You guys are here. Give us a little bit of background on the science behind sauna, because I know that's a big part of what you do is the medicinal and health aspect and wellness aspect of utilizing a sauna.
Yeah, we're all about the inner wellness that comes from infrared sauna use. Saunas have been used for thousands and thousands of years to fight disease, just improve overall health, mental and physical. And what we've done is kind of modernize that. We use infrared saunas, which are super clean, high end, just, mentally and physically like clarifying of an experience. And what the saunas does, it warms your body 2 to 3 degrees. So kind of puts you in that metabolic state where it's, increasing calorie burn, um, gets the circulatory system going, good for muscle pain, joint pain, all that good stuff, and really detoxes the body. At the end of it, you come out of the 40-minute session and you just feel better. You just feel mentally better, physically better. It's a catharsis, and it's kind of unlike anything you've ever experienced.
Now, there's, the old school saunas, which were rock and heat based. Then you guys have infrared sauna, and then there's steam.
Hmm.
What's the distinctive difference between infrared and the old school sauna and a more wet experience like a steam?
Yeah, just real simple. The infrared saunas, they're milder feeling. So even though they're 158 degrees when you go into the sauna in an infrared at Perspire, you can stay in for 40 minutes because it's a milder, slower building feeling. It's also completely clean. Unlike a steam or traditional sauna where bacteria can grow, infrared kills bacteria. Cedar is antimicrobial. So in addition to all the cleaning procedures that we do, it's a very clean and aesthetic experience as well.
Very cool. And now you had a question for me as well.
I do, yeah.
Cool.
Being a part of a wellness business, my question is, what do you do to keep mentally and physically balanced and healthy?
The first thing that I've learned is a little different than probably what most people do, and that's understand time, habit, and discipline. So the number one thing that's helped me with my health is to dedicate and to prioritize a minimum of an hour a day on my health. So by doing so, I've allotted a time slot that is prioritized before my family, before my activity I get paid for. What I've learned about health and wellness is if you put it behind your family and the activity you get paid for, very rarely will you have time to actually take care of yourself because the choice is obvious. When you make a non-negotiable commitment to putting your health and wellness first, knowing that you can't give what you don't have, that is the first step. And I think it's the most crucial step because once you've allotted that and prioritized that and made it non-negotiable in your life, it allows you to explore yoga and stretching and infrared saunas and cardio workouts that are variant and different nutrition and study all the different things that are necessary to me. It's so funny because I've always been a steam guy. I've always liked the steam room, but I've also known about and had to stop because of the pandemic about how unhealthy it is. I have a very strong immune system, so it never really got to me. But obviously, with the pandemic, it wasn't something that I was interested in. And my neighbor has an infrared sauna, and I asked them about the health side of it. And
Hmm.
so when I saw that you wanted to come on, that really excited me because it is a much safer, healthier experience than the two traditional ways that I used to perspire, beyond straight cardio, obviously. But it's worked with that. Now you guys are franchising as well right now.
Yes.
How many franchises do you have?
We'll have 15 open by the end of this month,
Nice.
and the plan is to end 2021 with 30. So we're gonna double this year, and then more in the pipeline as well.
Well, it's a great franchise to have because with the transition that's going on, like I said, it's a very safe, clean, easy to run business
Hmm.
because you don't need a lot of employees because it has, the great capacity. Space-wise, retail space is coming down in price. There's a variety of reasons that I would suggest people to find you. Where can people find you? If they're interested in either buying one, franchising, or attending a studio.
Yeah, we have locations in Orange County, California, Orange County, Florida, Austin, Atlanta, Omaha. And if they're interested, the website, perspiresaunastudio.com, or our Instagram handle at Perspire Sauna Studio.
You got it, my friend. Well, thank you for joining me. I'm a big fan, and let me know how I can be of service. I'd be happy to help you. Just email me, david@dmeltzer.com, okay?
Yeah, will do. Thanks,
Thank
David.
you. Take
All
care.
right. Bye.
All right. What a great day. So Adam and Lee, two different types of businesses, obviously very value-based. And their saunas are awesome. You're right, Colleen. I'm glad that we have it in here. Joseph's in, Tyler as well. All right. PerspireSaunaStudio.com if you're interested in franchising. Joshy, my man. What's going on, Josh York? The man talking about franchises, the fastest growing franchise in America. My boy Josh York, incredible guy. Check him out if you're not following him. He's extremely inspirational. He gets it. Great entrepreneur, great friend. We got to do a little bit of social together, my friend Josh. I'd love to see you again. Get a little boost of Josh. You get Mike Diamond and Josh York together. That'd be quite a pair of high energy dudes. Any books that you want to read? Well, I always read Think and Grow Rich. I always read The Course in Miracles, a variety of other books. I'm not sure which one I want. I want to read President Obama's book, but that's a long one. I think that'd be the next one that I like to read and see his insights. What's your secret of success? Enjoying the consistent, persistent pursuit of my potential. Enjoying the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of my potential. That's the secret right there. What helps you remain positive in all situations? Buzzer Breeder Sports. What a great podcast that is. For me, it's stop, drop, and roll. Being positive is a matter of spending minutes and moments in ego-based consciousness, identifying what bothers me, what creates interference, voids, and shortages in my life, and working and practicing on identifying what those are. Even if I have to put a lookout on or a hit list on my top 3 things that bug me, the need to be offended, the need to be right, the need to be, separate, whatever it may be, put a heart target list on 3 of them. So at least I can identify some and start working on stopping, dropping, and rolling to get back to center and neutrality, to find my higher frequency, to plateau and grow, to not live the myth of Sisyphus, pushing a boulder to the top of the hill, just have it roll down to the bottom every day or every week or every month. And I've been there. Not fun. Which NFL team do you support? I support several teams, but my number one team is the San Diego Chargers, New Orleans Saints in the NFC, and then the Cleveland Browns. I was born in Ohio, so I have a special place in my heart for the Brownies, but I am a tortured soul with the Browns and the Chargers. If a reoccurring business idea keeps presenting itself, would you take that as a sign from the universe? I take reoccurrence as a sign from the universe all the time. What I pay attention to and give intention to create the coincidences in my life. And if things are repetitive in nature and the coincidences are repetitive in nature, I'm going to take heed of what I'm paying attention to and giving intention to see if that is aligned with what I'm thinking, saying, doing, and believing. So absolutely pay attention to and give intention to and look for those coincidences, the repetitive nature of the universe that are slapping you in the face and saying, hey, dummy, here's a lesson to learn. How do you start a business legally? Well, you create a structure of some sort and create a business plan or executive summary and start executing on it. If you need help, I have tons of help on this. David@dmeltzer.com. It's pinned below, or text me 949-298-2905. We do trainings every Friday. All the trainings, all of the playbook is my podcast with celebrities, athletes, entertainers, millionaires, billionaires, entrepreneurs. They're all over 600 of them. They're featured on Spotify. They're featured on Entrepreneur. They're on every platform. The playbook, like it, share it. You'll love it. But all of my trainings, including this Friday's training, which is on abundant negotiation, how to abundantly negotiate where you're at. All right. Jesse Stanley, looking here, looking good. The Stanley brothers, of course, I think that's probably them. We're always getting the wrong. There we go. All right. There's Jesse. How are you?
I'm well. How you doing, David?
Good, man. What's your hat say?
My hat says the Grateful Dead. It's a James Purse hat that my brother bought, but it looks kind of foolish on him, so he gave it to me.
I have brothers like that too. My son, I got a birthday present yesterday that didn't fit me. brand new 100th anniversary NFL Charger hat. And the minute he saw, like, it's still a tag, everything on it. The minute he saw it was too small for me, my 10-year-old just grabbed it, put it on. He goes, "That's mine." I was like, "Oh God, I'm reliving having little brothers now."
Well, you know, I'm one of 11, but I've
Damn.
got 6 brothers that we all work together. So what was mine was theirs, and I'm the tallest, so I can't say what was theirs was mine because none of it would fit. But this hat does fit pretty nicely. So
That's all. Well, I grew up with 5 boys and a girl, so I didn't have quite as many boys as you, but we were almost there. And
you,
my kids don't understand hand-me-downs because I was not the tallest. I was in the middle. And, you know, to buy something new, you know, was incredible, including shoes. Like, people look at me and go, "You actually had hand-me-down shoes?" I'm like, "Yes, I had hand-me-down shoes, shirts." You know, I wouldn't even want to gross people out to tell you what I had hand-me-downs of. So anyway. But you have Charlotte's Web. You guys are the market leader in production and distribution of hemp-based cannabinoids, CBD wellness products, just kicking butt through tremendous growth. What's been your biggest lesson? You know, you've been involved with Charlotte's Web throughout the growth. You know, you were in early enough where everyone, you know, it could have been a myth. There's tremendous amount of risk. And, you know, just like gambling, you're starting to see the writing on the walls, right? When 22 states legalize this and you start getting to, you know, more political side of it. What has been the biggest lesson that you've learned through the progression of the legality of CBD and wellness products?
yeah, it's a great question. It's funny you answered a question previously. How do I start a business legally? What a great question for the cannabis industry and to navigate the last really 12 years my brothers and I have been in the space. We've navigated, you know, answering the door, possibly expecting the DEA, to now being the market leaders in a publicly traded company. So we've seen the full gambit of kind of the emotions of a business, from true startup to gray area. Is this legal? Is it not? And I would say it's been a roller coaster. I mean, those that don't know our story, I recommend just going to our website or checking out Stanley Brothers CBD and understanding why Charlotte's Web is a market leader. It really, it saved many lives back in the day, and still does. Specifically with a little girl named Charlotte who had Dravet syndrome, which is a rare form of epilepsy. And the purpose of our business has always been health and wellness. And we have gone through the phase of this new industry where you see it in all kinds of different products, and people generally are wondering, you know, what is this CBD? I see it in pillows. I see it in smoothies. I see it for epilepsy. I see it for anxiety, sleep, all these types of things. So we've been able to stay grounded in our message, and we're no frills. We're trust, and trust the earth is sort of our motto. So we've been able to build pretty, pun intended, grassroots, which has been really good for us.
You know, beyond the grassroots growth that you have, no pun intended, learning the lessons of history. You know, I'm a huge history buff because it shows me human nature. And, you know, probably a decade ago, when I was working with the guys from Arcadian Fund and a few other people that I know, you know, really analyzing the space as a consultant, I went right to the history books to see why CBD itself was illegal, right? And it was remarkable because once I learned why it was illegal, I learned that it was going to be a huge opportunity. The same way that gambling, you know, real-time gambling, and why that hasn't come to the forefront, you know, with my technology background, has been extraordinary. For you, I thought maybe you could share with us, you know, what you saw 12 years ago, because it is, you know, for your whole family to start a business in a gray area. You know, what was it historically that you looked at that, you know, gave you confidence that, hey, this stuff is a hidden gem, right? Like for Charlotte, for example, but I mean, it is a super product. And I've been looking at it for a decade going, this just burns my soul that, you know, there's been people that have lifetime jail sentences for an item that is so less detrimental than alcohol. You know, so historically, what did you see when you first started?
You know, my frustration with what everything you just talked about, really, I didn't fully understand it until about 2008, whenever I started looking into the industry and understanding what is medical marijuana. You know, to me, back in those days, when someone said, "Oh, I use medical marijuana," and I'm like, "Oh, let me guess, back pain, you stubbed your toe, those types of
My
things."
wife used it because she had 4 kids.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, everybody, you know, we have a cannabis brand as well called Recreate, and it's kind of our new iteration on health. But we started in marijuana, and back in the day, everybody talked of this recreational type of use, and now you're seeing states with medical marijuana and recreational marijuana. Well, I got news for everybody out there. Most um, most cannabis users use medicinally. Everybody who asks, "Oh, I do it to take the edge off." Well, that's why people take Xanax. I do it because it helps me sleep. That's why people take Ambien. I do it to relax, all down the road. I do it for pain. I do it because it makes me feel better. That's why we take
Right.
supplements and
Joints, headaches,
everything. There's tons
nausea,
of it. There's
nausea, everything.
and and you're talking about what we got to meet. I got to meet, and really why we got into it is our cousin had pancreatic cancer, and he was basically given a couple months to live. And so we started growing our own and turning it into a very concentrated oil, and we gave it to him, and it ended up extending his life, and quality of life is always so very important. And he was able to see, you know, his granddaughter and you know, watch her grow up a little bit. And those are important you know, moments in people's lives that we don't take for granted. We often take those things for granted, and we look at you know, our health, and we turn to, you know, doctors generally for these recommendations. But cannabis has been, you know, before the 1940s, it was the number one ingredient in pharmacopoeia. It treated over 100 different disease states. And we aren't talking about a plant. We're talking about a plant that grows naturally anywhere, whether the government likes it or not. And
Like a weed. It grows really fast.
like a weed. And CBD, you know, is a relatively new compound, at least that people know about it. But back in those days, CBD was one of the more prevalent compounds in the cannabis plant, because what the industry did, or what the government did whenever they made it illegal, is they made basically moonshine out of cannabis, and you created all these 27, 28, 30% THC strains. Well, those don't really exist naturally. And the true natural plant, the hemp plant and the cannabis plant, and THC is not to be demonized. It is definitely needed for health and wellness, and even to take the edge off just to go to a concert. But we're stepping into this age of self-care, and people want options, and they truly want botanical options. And cannabis, the anecdotal evidence has always been there. Now we're starting to see the research. Now we need to take that research and we need to flip it back, and we need to ask the question, why are we throwing people in jail for this? One in three Americans live in a state where it's legal. Why are we wasting taxpayers' money on the war on drugs? Why do we still, in certain states, why is the federal government not looking at this? Because some people are like, well, I want to try CBD, but is it legal? Yes, it is legal. I want to try THC. No, it may not be legal, depending on what state you're in. And that's ridiculous, to be able to buy something in one state, cross another state, and immediately be a criminal. We got to stop making crimes out of things that naturally occur on the earth.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. My favorite state, I always say the state of hypocrisy, because I'm not afraid of being a hypocrite. I think one of the superpowers that I've learned is that I take inventory of my values every day from what I've learned in the past, and I change my mind, and I tell people, hey, you know what? I didn't know what the F I was talking about. I made a mistake. And I think as a society, we need to live in the state of hypocrisy and understand that we're all expanding and growing and learning, growing, no pun intended. But, you know, just look at Oregon for me. That's my favorite state of hypocrisy, because cocaine is legal, but straws aren't, right? I mean, if you want to know what state our perspective of government is, that you literally can be in trouble for using a plastic straw when you're doing your Coke, but not for having the Coke. So, you know, I think, you know, there's a lot that we need to work on, but the bigger picture is that if you have any interest in CBD or THC, there's plenty of information historically right, of stuff that you're mentioning that I think really shows. And I love the way you describe, hey, if I have a headache, I take Tylenol. If I, have joint soreness, I take this drug. If I have, nausea, but there's some, really big things that they do within the context of leukemia and cancer and, all these seizures, especially, as you know, from the brain to the heart to the eyesight. And especially now that you're not smoking through unfiltered things, because there are legal regulated distribution of it where you get even a more healthy dose than hurting your lungs. It's an amazing aspect to what we do. Where can people find more about you guys with the Stanley Brothers? I know you're at Jesse M. Stanley, but there's Stanley Brothers as well. Where's the best people can reach out and learn more?
Yeah, reach out to a couple different organizations. I would say charlottesweb.com is great for CBD products. We are the market leader. We offer a wide range of products, whether you're, a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad, or you're in sports or wherever. We kind of have it all across the gambit there. The Realm of Caring is a nonprofit that really can help you if you're trying to treat an ailment. The Realm of Caring is a nonprofit that we started with Charlotte's mother and Zakai's mother, Heather Jackson. They have more information on cannabis and an observational research than anybody in the world. PubMed, there's tons of cannabis information out there. People say, well, we don't know the research. Well, it's funny. We have a lot of research, and the reality of that is that when something's illegal, you can't research it. Well, we figured out a way. And there's tons of information out there for you, 25,000 uses for cannabis, hemp, all that type of stuff. So fit it into you got to fit it into your everyday. We have an endocannabinoid system. Cannabis has cannabinoids. It's the largest cell receptor system in our body. It will be taught in the future in medical schools. So get out in front of this and introduce cannabis in some way to your daily lives. It will be really good for you.
Thank you so much for helping us understand what a lot of people don't know about, and to make us feel more comfortable where to find the right information so we can live longer, healthier, higher quality of lives, which you and your brothers and your whole family have helped with. So thank you, Jess, so much for coming on, and we'll have to have you back again. I really appreciate you.
I would love to be on. You got to get my brothers as well. We really appreciate you, David. Thanks,
we'll do
brother.
a mass screen. Thank you. Tell them all I said hi.
Will do, brother. Ciao, ciao.
Love that hat too. So good choice. Take care.
Thanks, brother.
Right on. All right, the Stanley Brothers, check them out. I didn't know they had 11 kids in total. Wow. Thought we had a lot. Very good. Awesome, everybody. Let's take a quick question. Remember, Friday's training's on unconditional negotiations, right? Negotiating from an abundant place. I'm going to teach you all about that. Let's see here. My brother started with cannabis with MH predisposition. He went on to other drugs, a gateway drug. I believe it could be, right? And so that, like anything else, positive and negative. I was just talking about gin. One drink a day is wonderful. But obviously it can have a negative side to it. So what we need to do is make sure that, we're utilizing things that we have a different predisposition or quantum memory for, and picking and choosing and realizing those are very important to everything, whether it's alkaline water, CBD, gin, whatever it may be. We have to figure out our own predisposition to that, and also learn the negative effects of abuse, and anything can be abused. So I think that's a really great question for everyone to consider with everything that we talk about. How do I find my why? Know your what. If you know your what, your why will come. Know your what. Drop off trying to figure out why. Figure out what you want personally, experientially, giving and receiving wise. Know your what, and you'll figure out why you want that what. But you can't figure out your why unless you know your what. So figure out your what. All right, let's take one more. What did you do for your birthday, and did you get any gifts? I got the coolest gift from my company. They gave me 2 seats from Qualcomm Jack Murphy Stadium, number 11, my lucky number. Yesterday was 1/11/21, my 3 numbers. I was born on 1/11/21. I represented the Clemente family. Huge. I used 21 when I played college football. That was my number. I'm a 1/11/21 person. So that was an extraordinary gift. And I want to thank every one of my employees for chipping in to give me that amazing 2 seats from Qualcomm Jack Murphy Stadium that's been torn down. The Padres and Chargers played there. I watched All-Star games there, Aztec games there. I think I had seat 11. I can't remember whether it was for my season tickets for Chargers or Padres, but what an extraordinary gift. The greatest gift I got, though, not to outdo Team David Meltzer, were the 4 cards that I got from my kids. Miles, Marissa, Mia, and Marlena wrote books for me. They all made me cry, and it was the greatest gift. So I want to thank my kids, and especially my wife, who I'm sure encouraged them to do so. Her card was good, but it didn't match my kids' cards. And as my son Miles said, sorry, Mom. Uh, anyway, I am so blessed. That's all I have to say, and so are you. Remember, everybody, most importantly, here we go. Friday's training is Abundant Negotiations. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com, if you haven't registered. I'm happy to give you my books, guides, exercises, all for free from all the trainings I've done from over 20 years. I'm happy to sign them, send them to you, pay for shipping. I don't care. You can watch all the replays, and the playbook is the name of my podcast, the playbook. Like it, share it. It's on and featured on Spotify. There's a playlist there. Entrepreneur featured there in every platform. So it's easy to find the playbook, YouTube, you love it, etc. Most importantly, everyone, david@dmeltzer.com. Text me to join my community, 949-298-2905. Be kind to your future self and do good deeds. I will see you tomorrow. Thanks.